Hello everyone, this is Enzo Eigen of the Alliance for Loki. And today I have the top 20 champions that I like to play. Not necessarily the best champions, but ones I just have a lot of fun playing with. And I'm going to start from the top. The champion I like playing with the most, it's actually this sort of 3 or 4 that are all pretty close together. But right now I'd have to say it's Black Widow Clairvoyant. I just love the way you get to change her immunities to be whatever you want, and each special does something different, and you just can, it's so much control and so much versatility. She has one of my favorite abilities in the game, which is regen. I love the way she locks down their buffs with the SP2, and she also can nullify them just by attacking. So an amazing champion, and I think she's just incredible. After that, another blonde. My second favorite champion is Emma Frost. I think Emma Frost is also incredibly varied, really tanky. I like that with her heavies have power control, like that she's stun immune against encroaching stun. I like that she can do incredible damage with her SP2. I like that you can also go into telepathic form and shut down evaders. She does so much, and she has incredible immunities. I mean, just basically immune to almost everything, and so she's an awesome champion as well. Coming in at number 3 is Ibom. And so Ibom is another sort of, I think, pretty unique champion. I love his just the amount of poisons he can put on, his high physical resistance, the fact that with suicides he gets a little bit of passive healing, and same without suicides because he's poisoning himself, which he's immune to. The acid wash is cool, allows him to go unblockable, and even against poison immune champions you can still proc your SP3, and then you got that powerful damage over time. In at number 4 is the mighty Diablo. And so Diablo actually has a lot of similarities to Ibom, that he has incredible regens, suicide friendly, but oh boy, he's just not only suicide friendly, he's like suicide benefit. He just gains so much regen. I love the different pre-fights you can put on, very versatile. A little interesting mechanic with his SP3, but also if you play him well, you can just keep really strong poisons up for a long time. So very, very interesting champion. Number 5, I'd have to go with Vision. Vision is like the old school power control champion. Really just absolutely shuts down the power. And right away, he starts with at least 1 bar power at Sig 200 and can actually totally make a opponent never get power, and just really powerful, really good and amazing champion for that. Next up, another mystic, the mighty Mojo. So Mojo, I actually really like his prompt system. It just adds a little bit of interestingness to his game, where you have to do a certain action, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the little bit of extra challenge that has, and I think he's cool with his abilities. Actually, I love his synergy with Gulk to get unstoppables each time he makes a prompt, and so yeah, he's just a fun, interesting champion that I think is very, very cool and fun to play. So this is old school. This is Stark Spider-Man. So I've always liked Stark Spider-Man. He was the first to have the taunt mechanic, which somehow I still feel is the best one. I know they should all be the same, but his seemed to really entice the opponent to throw these specials. And I also love that he has saved my life so many times because he will evade specials, the projectile specials. I think that's really cool. I definitely like champions with sort of interesting, unique abilities, and he definitely has. He had 2 of them with taunt. I mean, lots of champions have taunt now, but I really like the poise mechanic. I think that's interesting in the way you can build them up. After that, I'd have to go with Colossus Glaive. I think the whole principle behind Colossus Glaive is really cool, building up the glaive charges. You don't have too many, and there's so many different ways you can use them. Plus, you hitting into the block, and the way you can dance around, being immune for a long time and prolonging fights when you should die. I think that's awesome. So, very, very unique ability. Now we have Professor X, and Professor X, I just like his playstyle. I really dislike misses and evades, and knows that calls that. And he can totally shut them down, both of them, which is very, very unique. I love his special mechanic when he has on the mind control. I think that's really interesting and innovative. And yeah, he's just a super cool newer champion, which I like. High damage and plus some cool utility. After that, we have Void. Void is another one of his champions, just really unique. I love his debuff system. I mean, Mr. Fantastic with the Fantastic Four synergy sort of does it, but I still think Void is absolutely the best when it comes to that damage over time with his debuffs that he puts on the opponent. So just an awesome champion. Then I'm going to have to go with Doom. Doom is like the ultimate mystic. I mean, he does Nullify, he does the power control, his SP3 and the Doom cycle is just so cool and so amazing. I mean, some champions, of course, you like because they're just really, really powerful and interesting, and he has it all. He's just an amazing champion. He's my first rank 4, and I think he's great. Next on the list, let's go with Ghost. And so Ghost, again, another one like the best champions in the game. Actually, it's more because of her unique playstyle, which I love. You know, of course, the phasing mechanic is so interesting. And then also for her defensive ability. The fact that she rarely gets hit makes her very, very sustainable. And so that's really cool. Of course, with the Wasp synergy, she's just amazing with unblockable specials. Still, it's 4 years later, and she's such an incredible champion. But I find her really fun to play, too. She's just awesome to play. After that, we'll go with Neymar. So Neymar is another champion with just a really unique ability. I love it because it's just so cool that you can reflect damage you're taking. So it's just sometimes there's nothing more satisfying like fighting an Electro or someone else who's like trying to hurt you and you just give it right back to them. Also love the way you can get regen. As I said, regen is my favorite mechanic, utility, or ability in the game, and so with you have suicides on, when you hit into them, you're actually healing because the damage from the suicides is being transferred by his signature ability, so he's awesome. Then I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with Omega Red next. So Omega Red, I like him mostly because of his interesting playstyle. I feel like you have to be like this really sort of aggressive stance where you're getting very close to them and trying to stay close for as long as possible, which is really cool. The unblockable chance with his attacks is interesting. He has regen. That's a common theme in my champions that I like. Just does a lot of damage, and his interesting damage over time is really, really cool because it just bypasses so much because it's like this passive style of damage. After that, I'm going to go with Guardian. So Guardian, he has 3 what I think incredible unique abilities. 1, he can parry. 2, he can parry the non-contact attacks like Domino and Stealthy Spiderman. 2, he does the no crits, which I think is really awesome. And the third thing is just so tanky. I mean, he at Sig 200 is just so resistant to so many things. Again, he's another one who can heal off suicides or bleed damage because he almost turns it off. He also has such an incredible nice synergy where he gives everyone a really huge boost in blocking in physical resistance, which I think is just so amazing cool. Maybe it's block proficiency, but yeah, he's an awesome champion. And he's fun to play too. I like his build up with his I can't remember what type of charges they are, but it's really interesting and fun, and the big blast of the SP2 when you have a bunch on them is just amazing. After that, I'm going to go with Captain America Infinity War. I feel like he has a few things that I really like in a champion. 1, he blocks really well, and 2, I love that he shuts down unstoppables. Actually, I probably should have another slow champion in here just because I really like slow as a mechanic. And he also is, just has all these cool different effects depending on what classes he has on his team. I think that's so awesome. So you can really customize him to whatever you need him to do in his fight. Pairing with a tech, you got Petrify. If you need to shrug off debuffs, have him paired with a skill. Or if you need both, pair him with both. So he's quite awesome in the way he works and with his synergies. I think he's a really cool champion. After that, I'm going with old school Blade. And so I know Blade isn't used much anymore. I love the way his regen works. Again, I love regen, and his regen is just so amazing. It's so strong, but it makes you work for it too. Like some champions just regen for like whatever. You just are playing them and the regen will proc. But you have to really intentionally fire off the regen, which I think is really cool. And again, if you do it right, you can just, it's not full health because it only goes up to 70%, but you can spend a lot of time, in a fight totally safe with your regen. Next, speaking of regeners, actually the next 2 are regeners, we have Rogue. I like Rogue a lot. Not only can she regen, but she can power control. I just love the way her mechanics work. She's simple and super fun to play, and she has 2 things I really like, which is the power control and the regen. I wish that she was a little more powerful, hit a little harder, And then on our SP1, you notice how she steals a buff. I wish that lasted longer because you have to sort of be hitting them or touching them to keep that buff stolen, and it just fades off too quickly. So that if Kabam, if you're listening, if you can make that like 4 seconds, that'd be incredible. I don't think it would change her that much. I think it would just make her super fun and super cool and just about the right power. Then we have another mutant woman, and it's X-23. So I love Wolverine in the comics. I like X-23. She's just absolutely simple. You don't have to use specials. In fact, you don't want to use specials. She regens, she hits hard, and she's just fun. She's just like 5-hit combo, 5-hit combo. You just don't have to worry about anything else. Just so simple and nice, and she regens. And last but not least is Gulk. So Gulk has a really interesting ability that, you know, he really deals with the damage over time, which I think is so cool. It's so annoying against, like, I'm trying to think who's a classic example, or like Starburst nodes, or anytime there's just this damage over time. Mephisto's aura, he just loves it. He just takes it. Or Limbo, that's the big one. Like, how do you deal with Magic's Limbo? And Gulk deals with it. So I find that super, super fun. So there you have it. There are the top 20 champions I'd like to play. You know, I think it's really fun, this game. I mean, you don't always have to have champions that are the most powerful champions. You just have to enjoy playing them. That's part of the fun of this game, is playing with cool, interesting champions, just because there's so many different ones and so varied. And everyone has their own choices. I mean, everyone sort of agrees who the best champion is, but not everyone. But everyone is pretty different, I would say, in the champions they like to play. I think about people like Super Sam and Buddy Lee in my lines, who really find cool champions to play with, like OG Black Panther and I-Hulk and Miles Morales. And so, yeah, it's really fun just to talk with other people about the champions they like, and to try them out. And some people like champions that you don't like. Sorcerer Supreme, I've never really thought too much about her, just because I just don't quite like her mechanics, even though I know she's a good champion. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll be making more of these type of videos soon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.